Hey, you. Yeah, you. Welcome to the Malaka podcast. Suicide. Obviously, not a easy topic to talk about. I think everybody, at least once in their lifetime, thinks about suicide. I'm sure a lot of people have friends, family, even just people around them that have committed suicide. But what is the main cause of suicide? Is it loneliness? Is it just the genes? Is it just the stupid things we do? Something could just happen to us by accident and we accidentally kill ourselves. There's many possibilities. One thing I'd like to discuss is just the whole depression of suicide. Unfortunately, a lot of us do suffer from depression. It's not an easy thing to talk about. A lot of it just comes from our genetics. Sometimes we just wake up one day and we feel very down. There's no reason for it. We just feel depressed. We're just seriously sad. And then we wonder to ourselves, what's the point of living? Do we just keep going and do the same thing every day and deal with the same miserable things every single day? Or do we just end it? Now, we're all different. Different things affect different people in very different ways. Some of us are on medication for our problems. A lot of us just live with the depression itself and just keep going in life. We just see what happens day to day and hopefully we get through another day. Some of us don't want to. Some of us just want to end it early. We figure, hey, there's no point living anymore. We're going through the same shit every day. We've had so many disappointments in our lives, and what's the point of going on? There is a point of going on. I mean, a lot of times we think, okay, the world is fucked up and we have no control over our own actions. I think for the most part we do. But a lot of times it's true, we really don't. But does that mean that we should just end our lives and just say, hey, let's just die. Let's just end this torture already. It's not going to get any better. Life's just going to get worse. People are going to keep disappointing us. I've always been one of these people, I want to see what happens at the end of my life. Personally, I'm a big guy, so there's a good chance I'm going to get a heart attack or some kind of pasta is going to be clogged in my arteries, or I'm going to die like every other fat man dreams of dying is at the Mandarin. But, all jokes aside, I just want to see what happens at the end. But a lot of people just aren't as strong as that. A lot of people just are used to a certain lifestyle and something big might have happened in their lives and they just want to end it. They figure, what's the point? A lot of people end it because maybe they got into a bad relationship or someone really let them down and, they feel they just can't go on anymore. It's not a good feeling always being alone with your thoughts or just, wondering what's the next step in life. It's important to talk to people and just let people know how you feel, what do you want to do in life, what makes you happy. And if something doesn't make you happy in life, don't kill yourself over it. It's not worth it. Even if you have a very bad illness. Just don't end your life. You never know. You could survive it. Or something really bad happens to you and you figure, okay, I can't live like this. I was used to living in a certain way and a certain condition. I don't want to live like this anymore. It's not worth it. It is worth it. It really is. Now, me personally, I haven't been through anything that big in my life. I mean, I'm only 36 years old, but I've been through some things in my life. At times, you're like, okay, I want out. I don't want to deal with this shit anymore. And, but, to think it and then actually do it are two completely different worlds. Same goes with anything. You just got to take a step back and think, you know what? I got some good stuff in my life. There's a lot of people around me that care for me, friends and family, and you just got to think positive. Can't think positive all the time. It's pretty much impossible. But you just got to keep moving forward and do the best you can do. If something bad is going on in your life, figure out what you can do to improve on it. It may not be the best solution for you at the time, but maybe it's something you can work towards in the future. There's no reason to join a cult and drink the Kool-Aid. I mean, I used to drink Kool-Aid as a kid, and I'm pretty sure that probably took off 10 years off my life anyway, but you ever see how much sugar they put in that shit? Anyways, the point is just, don't give up. Now, going back to stupid things I've done in my life, I like to talk about recent experience, or let's call it an experiment, that just went horribly wrong. Originally, my goal a couple years ago was to write a script. Now, not just any script. I mean, I'm always writing something. If I got a joke in mind, I always do my best just to try to write it down. I don't know. I haven't written anything down since probably the 90s. I just type things on my phone now, so it makes it that much easier. But I just make little notes, and hopefully these little notes can stretch out into cool ideas, and I could do something cool with it. And I had an idea for a movie, and I was gonna call it 1 Year to Go. And it was basically about a guy who basically gave up on life, and he told everybody, look, from 1 year from now, he's going to tell people on his birthday that he was done with life, and he wanted to just let people know. And for the next year, he was just going to do things he wanted to do, and just go from there. Now, I kind of gave up on that idea. I don't know. It's very hard for me to just sit down and concentrate and write something. But I thought of another idea for the podcast. I thought to myself, let me talk about suicide for one podcast. And for a whole week, I basically wanted to, trick people into think that I may or may not kill myself. And I was curious to see what people's reaction would be. Now, a lot of the reactions were pretty surprising. Some of them weren't. Some of them I just expected, from people. Some of them was just really, not really that much to say. I basically expected like certain reactions. And the problem, what happened one day, was unfortunately I told one of my friends a message, and they really were concerned. They were so concerned that she actually called the police. And I'm home. I had to do a bunch of errands that day. I came home. I was really hot. I was just chilling, just relaxing. And then all of a sudden I hear a knock on my door. And, I was like, okay, whatever. Maybe it's from the TV, whatever. And then I heard it again. It was louder. So I got up. I was curious because obviously somebody would have to buzz first to come in. So my first thought is like, okay, some dickhead left the door open, of course. It's just the way Canada works. Everybody leaves their front door open. But anyways, so then I look through the peephole there, and I see two officers. And I open the door, and there's two officers and two medical officers. So I'm just standing there, a little tired, a little shocked. I had a huge headache. It was sunny that day. I was outside for a while. I have a very big forehead, so when the sun hits there, it's going to affect it twice as hard. And I was like, okay, this is all I need right now. I was thinking to myself of making a joke, saying like I didn't steal the diamond, but I held my tongue, for a couple minutes. But people that know me, I can be pretty stubborn at times and lose my cool. And this is one time where I really wish I was able to just shut the fuck up, but I guess I wouldn't have much of a story. But so I'm talking to the one officer there. One of them seemed to be a short Italian guy. Another one was a tall Asian. It doesn't matter what nationality they were. Anyways, so I'm like, hey guys, how's it going? Like, hey, how's it going with you? I'm like, it was going good until I opened the door and I saw 4 people at my door. But what's going on? They said, hey, yeah, how you feeling? I'm like, well, once again, I'm okay. How are you? There's a little friendly back and forth there. And, the one cop says, yeah, we got a phone call from one of your friends saying that you might be suicidal. I'm like, well, the Leafs lost again to Boston, in the last, twice in the last 5 years, I think. And, yeah, I'm just really disappointed. So, and of course they're police officers, they don't take shit like this very lightly. I'm just trying to lighten up the mood here. I'm still trying to digest the Chinese food I had in my teeth. And, yeah, he was, again, he was just trying to be serious. He's like, yeah, we got the phone call and we just want to make sure you're okay. So I'll be honest, I was just really pissed because I just came from outside. I just wanted to relax. I got a huge headache and I'm like, this is crazy. I mean, I can't believe this is happening, and I'm just like, oh man, like guys, I'm not in the mood for this. This is like a joke. I was like, is this a joke? Did you guys, rent these costumes from It's My Party? I mean, I don't know what's going on here, guys. So they're like, okay, well, we're just seeing if you're okay and everything is good. I'm like, yeah, everything's fine until you guys showed up here, I mean, how'd you guys get in here? I just started losing it. I'll be honest with you. I mean, they caught me at a really bad time. Like I said, I just got home. I had a huge headache. I mean, I just wanted to relax and, yeah, and of course, being the half Greek, half Italian, Aries stubbornness that I am, I basically lost it on them. I'm like, who the fuck are you guys to come here? I didn't ask you guys to come here. I don't want this person bothering me anymore. So I just lost my shit, So then I'm arguing with the one Chinese guy. Again, I'm assuming he's Chinese. I don't know. But yeah, I'm just arguing with the dude back and forth. The little Italian guy, he seemed really pissed off. Yeah. Which by the way, like cops, I mean, I've noticed a thing in Toronto. I guess it's just like this everywhere. I mean, I don't know. It seems like there's always one good cop and one bad cop. You know, it was almost like I was reliving the movie Colors. But, anyways, great movie by the way. If you ever get a chance to see it, Sean Penn is great. So, yeah, I'm just like, guys, just leave me alone, da, da, da. And then at one point, they're just like talking amongst themselves. Now, keep in mind, I'm like a foot away from everybody here, so I'm like, guys, hello, I'm still here. You're just talking right in front of me, and they're like, I don't know, should we, should we bring him in? How did I, should we do this and that? It was almost like that old joke that Ronnie Dangerfield had. It's like, yeah, you're old when you get to a certain point, and the family just starts talking in front of you. Well, what do you want to do with Pop? Pop can't stay here. I'm just like sitting there drooling, like, And I'm just like, all right, I mean, okay, so just take your time, whatever, guys. I start waving in front of the cop's face, which is not a good idea to do. I started poking fun at him, which again is not a good idea to do, especially with someone having a gun. I'm assuming it's real. But yeah, and as you can see by the way I was talking now, I even, my smart ass tone did not help the situation at all, so then they're like, okay, just to be on the safe side, we're gonna bring you in. I'm like, what? I thought they were just joking. So then I don't know, the one Italian guy grabs me on the hand, and I was like, okay, are we dancing? And so then the other guy grabs my other hand, and they start trying to drag me out, and I'm like, dude, I'm wearing a t-shirt and underwear. I'm wearing like boxer briefs, because they look like shorts, and they give me the support I need at the same time too, right? But then the dude thought I was wearing shorts, so I'm like, listen, I don't know where you guys are from, but this is like underwear. I can't go outside in this. Let me get my thing, whatever. And they start trying to wrestle me, and then I'm wrestling these two dudes. And like clearly, if anybody knows me, I've lost weight over the last couple of years, but I'm still a big guy. So I don't know. Picture I don't know, like two average white people try to push Shaq, and it's not. I'm not saying I'm as big as Shaq, but it's pretty hard to push a dude like that. So of course you're gonna need a couple shoves, and I'm pretty flat-footed, so I'm like it's like that scene in Face Off when like he's in the jail and he's got the boots and they're like magnets on the floor, and I'm just not moving, But anyways, they again try to move in. They're just talking to me again. They handcuff me, which is always very comfortable. They start poking fun of my nationality, which I thought was kind of weird. I mean, I don't know. Like I mentioned, I was Greek before, and I don't know. The one guy said, like, I know about you people, and I'm like, well, I know about you guys too. Thank God I don't own a dog. But anyways, so we're just going like back and forth here, and then once again they try to push me. It's like when you're pushing a boulder down, you got to give it a couple shoves. You're not just gonna get it in one swing. And I finally convinced the guys. I'm like, guys, okay, I'll come with you, no problem there. I mean, there's no reason for violence. It's kind of funny too how they kind of like just switch their moods like very quickly. I mean, at first they started off really nice, and then they started like poking fun at like my parents, and I don't know, like the one guy said, oh, you're acting like my 12-year-old son. Which I'm assuming his 12-year-old son is really smart. Either that or he's making fun of his own son. But yeah, I the moods change quick, man. So, might have to do a podcast on cops one day. But anyways. So I'm like, all right, just let me, get my pants. And of course they wouldn't let me get my pants, because I was handcuffed, and, unless I could do the moonwalk and, do some magic, I couldn't get my pants. So they go in there, and this is something that always pissed me off about cops, is like when you go into someone's house, I mean, at least take off your shoes, I don't have booby traps on the place here. I keep a very clean place. Anybody that knows me, I'm a very clean guy. So, to come in there with your, dirty, smelly shoes, that's not cool. So, of course, they're tracking all this dirt all over my place. And, apparently, I don't know, the one woman didn't know what pants look like. Um, and I'm like, okay, well, it's pants. It's like the opposite of, shorts. Just if you can grab my pants, that'd be great. So then they grab my pants, and the dude takes the belt off. I'm like, well, okay. I mean, I don't know. I thought he was gonna like do some S&M shit on me or something. But I'm like, okay, no, we're just taking the belt, because we're dicks. And so they let me, finally put on my pants. I'm like, well, how am I supposed to put on my pants? He's like, well, do it one leg at a time. How else would you do it? I'm like, well, when I'm putting on pants in the morning, I'm not handcuffed. I don't know what weird fantasy shit you're into that you wake up with handcuffs, but that's not my style. So, and of course he's getting pissed off, whatever. And of course I'm laughing my ass off in cuffs. But yeah, so then, he's helped me put on like the pants like one leg at a time, right? And I'm like, okay, cool. Just one here, one there. And then I'm trying to put on my shoes. And then again, he's like, well, how else do you put on your shoes? I'm like, dude, it's the same thing as the pants. I am not handcuffed. How are you not getting this? Is the exam really this easy? Like, I don't understand how you guys are making almost 100 grand a year, which is what I actually researched that. That's how much Toronto cops make 100 grand a year. I don't believe it either, but I mean, I don't know. That's, again, the bar exam must be really easy. But anyways, yeah, so we finally do that. And, they bring me to the cop car, which, of course had plenty of leg room for a big guy like me. I don't know, it was like trying to fit Andre the Giant into a sardine can. But anyways, so I'm like, all right, so let's go to, the hospital just down the street from me, because, that would be, of course, most convenient for me. And they go, no, we're going to go downtown to that hospital. So I'm like, why? Like, it's literally like down the street. It says, whoa, we're going to have to wait at least 4 or 5 hours there. Now, I really, I'm trying to defend cops here sometimes. I really do. I mean, do I like NWA? Of course I do. But, I don't want to put all my investment in that one song. We all know what song I'm talking about. But it's literally like a minute away from my house, and then I'm like, well, how am I gonna get home after? Like, oh, you gotta take the subway. I'm like, really? Yeah, okay. I thought I was gonna take the jet. So, apparently, I guess they saw my first name, and then they saw the first name of the hospital, and they downtown. I guess they thought, okay, maybe. He has to go there. So I'm just assuming what their logic was. I have no idea. So, yeah, we're just driving in the car. I mean, I didn't know what else to say to these guys. I was just, cracking jokes the whole way. I mean, I remember there was like a Seinfeld moment there where I was like, guys, I'm hot as hell here. Can you turn on the AC? And they go, yeah, well, we got, the AC blasting in here, but, yeah, there's no AC in the back. I'm like, well, yeah, no shit. And then, like, at one point, I look at the door, the inside door there, the panel, and there's a window button. So I'm like, okay, like clearly this window doesn't work, or else like every jack off would just jump out the window when he got arrested. So I'm like, guys, like, why the fuck would you have like a button like here for a window? It's just like a big tease, like it's like it's a cop car. It's not a luxury sedan here, like, and then. Yeah, I'm making a reference to like Die Hard, and remember we used to go on planes and you'd see that little smoking little thing on the armrest, and you were able to smoke, and now when you go on planes, it's some of them are still there, but they're welded shut, and you can't do that anymore. And I don't know, the one Italian guy was getting pissed off, but the Asian guy was he was laughing his ass off, and he was trying to laugh out loud because they had to keep a serious face, right? So then, after, all those classic moments, we finally, reached the hospital. Again, he was like, try to get out of the car. I'm like, yeah, that's, again, that's easy, without hands. So it took me like 5 minutes just to hop out of the car. It was like I don't know, like a butterfly hatching out of the cocoon, whatever the fuck, I don't know. But anyways, so we finally, we're just walking in there, right? And it smelled because it's a hospital, and I just sat down there. Well, actually, they wouldn't let me sit down because then they're trying to look for a certain seat for me, in the waiting room, because apparently, they have to, find one that says Michael on it. And then he's like, okay, yeah, sit here. And then I'm like, okay. And then he's like, no, wait, don't sit there. And some lady sat there, and he's like, oh, I guess you can't sit there. I'm like, oh, I guess not. You're very observant. And then, they're like, okay, just come to the window here, whatever. Tell them all your information and whatever. Yeah. I'm like, well, it's kind of hard to tell them my information without my wallet and my actual information in my wallet. And the guy's like, all right, you just here, take this, and here's the guy's health card, da 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 da. So then, the one woman there, it was part of the, I don't know, whatever, the emergency, whatever. She leans over and says, okay, do you want me to tell your story or you? And I'm like, well, I'm not in Russia, so I can speak for myself. So if you don't mind, I'm gonna just, I really wanted to say a good Godfather joke there. I wanted to say, yeah, I'm gonna lean over and speak Italian to my friend, but I don't know. I'm sure she wouldn't have got that. Yeah, I don't know. She looked kind of Italian. I don't know. She had a lot of makeup on, whatever. But anyways, so then I lean over to the Filipino woman at the window, because a lot of them are nurses, and I'm like, okay, so let me just tell you about my day. All right, so everything was beautiful, and then all of a sudden all these cops showed up and just totally ruined my day. And then the mod squad here brought me over here for no reason, because I don't know, they're just trying to make quota. I'm just doing everything I can just to waste their time and piss them off. And then like at one point, I think the one woman was getting annoyed, and she tries to, I don't know, get me back somehow. And then she said something like, like, we thought we smelled alcohol on his breath. And then I look at her, I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like really? Like, that's your fucking defense? Like, who the fuck are you? Like, really? And she goes, well, I thought I did. I'm like, really? You're gonna confuse a Chinese food with vodka? Like, what are you, retarded? Like, I don't know. But anyways, I mean, this is what I got to deal with in this city. Honestly, I mean, this is just insane. So then I go there, and then what's funny is that they put me in like a room just waiting for the doctor or whatever, right? And before I saw the doctor, this nurse came in. I'm assuming she was a nurse. I don't know. She looked like she just came from I don't know, like a Imagine Dragons concert. But yeah, she was just asking me a bunch of questions. I mean, she looked like Thelma from Scooby Doo. And she's like, hey, how you doing? I'm like, how the fuck do you think I'm doing? I mean, I'm in here for like no reason, and she's just like, like, she's trying to be sweet and everything, but she's just, I don't know, she's just out of it. I'm like, listen, I don't know why I'm here. I clearly, my friend overreacted. I got a little defensive with the cops. I'm sorry, my bad. Can I leave? She's like, well, you gotta talk to the doctor first. I'm like, okay, well, bring in Dr. Gavorkian here, and let's figure this out. So then, as I'm waiting for the doctor, the two guys come in, and they're just like, all right, well, you understand, we, and they're trying to play cool now, because like now they're like, cops are very different in front of other people. I mean, obviously a lot of people know that when you deal with cops, but they are completely different in front of people. I mean, it's amazing, honestly. Like, it really is shocking. I mean, but again, we'll talk about that in another podcast. So, the guy's like, well, you didn't have to overreact. I'm like, well, yeah, you didn't have to bring me here. I guess we're both screwed, So, and then we're just waiting along, and then he's like, well, yeah, we gotta go. I'm like, yeah. And it was funny because like over the radio, I heard that there was some guy that was streaking at the Young and Blur. I'm like, yeah. Go attend the nudist there. All right. So, they're just going away, all like, like whatever, dude. And then the doctor comes in. He looks like what was the name? The guy from what's it? Grey's Anatomy, whatever. Yeah, that dude. He comes in there and he's like, "Hey, Michael, how's it going?" I'm like, "Again, how the fuck do you think I'm doing?" And like people are just so stupid. I know you got to follow protocol, but I mean, do I look well? I mean, really, like there's also like a point where like again I was wearing a belt, right? So, but my pants were like, I mean, if they were like a certain length up, I mean, I could hold them, to a certain degree, right? But still, I would have preferred a belt. I'm a grown human being. But at one point, like I felt like there's a scene in Seinfeld where George was at some hospital and he's like on the payphone. He's like holding up his pants. He's like, "Oh, they took away my belt, Jerry. I gotta hold on my pants." I kept thinking of that in my head. So he's like, "Hey, how you doing? I'm good." And he just goes, "Listen, we heard you had some trouble." I'm like, "Yeah, you heard, eh?" Yeah. He's 5 feet away. But anyways, so, but anyway, I'm sorry. But anyways, he's like, "Hey, listen, I just want to make sure you're okay. Are you safe? Are you suicidal?" And I go, "Listen, man, I'm 36 years old. I'm single. I'm happy. I'm getting some on the regular. I eat good. I'm paying, like a very. I'm not gonna say now how much I'm paying rent, but it's a very low amount." And then when I mentioned the low amount to him, he's like, "Wow, that's amazing." I'm like, "I know, right? So like, why the fuck would I be suicidal?" He's like, "All right, okay, just you don't seem like a harm to anybody. You're free to go." I'm like, "All right, cool, that's it." So it's probably at the hospital for like not even more than like 10 minutes. Like that's it. I mean, I don't know. I waited longer for actual appointments. And then I was going home, and again I got no belt, so I'm kind of just whatever, hitching up my pants like I'm Urkel. The one plus side though, I was close to the Eaton Center, so I was able to hit up Colonel's, and I got a good deal on some popcorn on the way home. So at least there was a plus side to all this. So yeah, I guess what I'm trying to say during that whole story, which ironically, I actually ate up a lot of time for the podcast. Don't joke about suicide. It is not a funny thing, and I don't know. It's not worth it to kill yourself. Like I said before, I mean, I want to see how my life ends. I like the way my life is. I think it's pretty good. I lost weight. I can finally see my dick again. I mean, I don't know. My life's pretty good. I am sorry if I, worried my friends, during this whole process, or family members. I mean, I actually think back to, like when at the time I wanted to write the script, and I was like, shit, like how the fuck could I keep this up for a whole year? I mean, I was barely to keep this up for like a whole week. So, yeah, it is not something to be fucked with, suicide, and it's no laughing matter. I mean, they take this shit extremely seriously. I had no idea this was all gonna happen, yeah. So if you have a problem out there with yourself and you feel like killing yourself, just talk to somebody. There's no shame in that. At one point or another, like in our lives, we do need help. And there's no shame in admitting that. We're all human. We all got the same traits. We all got different ways of going about those traits, but there's no reason to kill yourself. I mean, that's it. And yeah, I got the kids help phone 800 number, 1-800-668 6868. That's 1-800-668-6868. Now, I've never personally called this number. I actually, what's always funny is I always remember. This is the fat kid coming in or out of me here, but I remember always buying Smarties, and like this number would always be in the back. I mean, I never called it, but I always thought to myself, it's pretty cool that like they have this, because I'm sure like when you're an adolescent today, you a lot of times just feel, alone and maybe helpless or trapped, and you just want to talk to somebody. So it's great that they have this number, and I'm sure this number works for adults as well. Worst case, you could just lie about your age, I guess, but yeah, talk about it. There's nothing wrong with talking about your problems with people, and throughout this whole process, I realized that I knew I had people that cared about me, don't get me wrong, but I didn't know I had people that cared about me this much. I had no idea. It's fucked up. I did this experiment, and like I said, I am sorry. I really am sorry. I know it's at points of the story I was trying to make a joke out of it, whatever. It's not a laughing matter. I don't take suicide jokingly. I take it very seriously, and I do apologize to any of my friends and family members that I messed up here, and I made you guys think I was like this, and I really do apologize for that. I really am sorry, honestly. Next round's on me. So yeah, just like I said, just talk. There's no shame in talking about your life with someone, especially friends and family that want to help you. And it's no laughing matter. It is a very serious subject. Things like this happen all the time. They happen every day. And it's very important that you always talk to somebody. Don't worry, guys. I'm fine. Not suicidal. But I just wanted to give you an example of how easy it can be to kill yourself. Always think about everything around you. It's not just about you. If you kill yourself, think about all the people it affects, all the things it affects as well. You have a responsibility in life to live life to the fullest. If you have any problems, talk to somebody. It is a very, very serious issue. Suicide.